La, 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 la.
Okay, we are on. Okay.
There we
Hello,
go.
everyone. Welcome to Tea Across the Miles with Lady Amy of Houses Windsor and Lady Nancy.
So you're here.
That's what I know. I was like, whichever way. So you're this. Nope, you're
The
this
other
way.
one of the other. So good to see
um,
you. Thanks for meeting. This is a last minute put together, and I really
yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, because when I realized, looked at the calendar, so Piper and I, we're going to Indiana. We're leaving tomorrow, and we're coming back the 25th.
Okay.
And then when we come back, I have the etiquette tea class thing on the
Yeah,
Sunday
that's
when we
right. You're doing
return.
another one. And great, great, great,
Yeah,
great. Here.
yeah. So I was like, and then I looked at this because like, what if we just go ahead and do it on Wednesday before we leave?
Just so
So
great. So,
I'm so
yeah.
happy that you can make it.
Oh, me too. I'm glad you could too. Lovely hair.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I found some of my old purple dye, and just kind of felt like doing the hair color again. So
Very
I had
good.
someone I had someone at BNI ask me this morning. He's so funny. Um, he's an older guy, and he like just like stopped around the corner when he saw me because I'm like one of the greeters, and he's like, "Amy," and he was like, and he goes, "Let me ask you this." He goes, "If he's like, let's say if you hated that color," he goes, "Not that you do, but let's just say if you hated that color, can you take it out?" Like, and I go, well, not immediately. I said, this one just goes out with washes, right? And he goes, how many days is that one? I go, this is like 2 days old. He goes, oh my God, Amy. But he's like the funniest guy ever. So I was like, I love that question. Like, you know, if you didn't like it, like, let's just say a hypothetical, you didn't like it. How long would it take to get out of your hair?
If I didn't like it, I wouldn't do it.
I
Right?
know, I know. It's so funny. Yeah. I'm like, I mean, I guess if I tried like a color that I didn't like, I mean, I don't know, but very funny. So, um, I have to tell you what tea I'm drinking today, and now I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
should
was
I
going
put
to
you
ask.
on the
That's so
phone?
great. Yay.
Okay, well, you tell me what you're drinking, and I'll
Well,
find my little package.
okay, and I want to know your teacup too. So I am drinking that the strawberry white chocolate white tea
Oh yeah.
that I had shared with you. I am
Yeah,
drinking from my Royal Albert today. This is
beautiful. I love it. It's
yeah,
so pretty.
it is so pretty. And I already shared with you, but
Yeah, the
a
woman.
wonderful acquisition, my beautiful teapot from a friend of
Yes,
mine. It's
that's
Royal
adorable.
Danube, but I haven't looked up Royal Danube. That might just be an English company. I have
Yeah,
no idea. Oh, and
and
this,
then show me your little matching bowl. Oh my
it's
God,
it's
that's.
this is I put my sugar cubes in here. This is a Christmas ornament from the Buckingham Palace collection bought at Harrods back in
Oh my
26.
God! So it doesn't even technically match. I thought it was like a
It
set
does,
with your cup.
it
It
does,
looks.
isn't it? Right? No, so this is sort of a knockoff. You have the tin,
Yes.
and what do I have? I had something. Now I can't even remember.
You're.
Oh no, I have the
You're.
tin. You have a box. Don't you have something? The
What do I
Royal
have?
Buckingham Palace
Yeah,
thing? Or it's
yeah,
a big
I forget now.
something like that.
I have something. Yeah, yeah. That's amazing. I love that you thought to use a Christmas ornament as an actual
I'm like,
bowl.
I need something small, and I have this one too. So this one was my souvenir for my darling Jackie. Um,
Oh, oh my
so
gosh, that's so cute.
isn't that sweet?
Oh, that's adorable. That's
So
really
cute.
sweet.
So that's a Christmas ornament. My sister gave me this because it was very similar to the teacups that they used at Kensington Palace when we went to the tea at
Mhm.
the oratory. So
Oh, okay.
all that to say,
Lovely.
I'm drinking white strawberry chocolate and
I love it.
Royal
Oh,
Albert cup. So
well, that's okay. That's okay. My answer to what I'm drinking isn't short either. Because,
take the
well,
floor.
so yeah, so my teacup isn't anything. I don't even remember where I got this one. It's from Salisbury, Bone China, England. That's what it
Okay.
says. But I just like it because it's pretty.
I'm
But
sorry. Can you pop the saucer up there again? I want to see your saucer because that's not
oh,
a round.
oh right, yeah, it's like
It's gorgeous. I love the scallop around there. That's
yeah.
really
So there's like scalloping on the cup is like
I can see
scalloped all the
that.
way around. Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. That's funny. I never thought to. Yeah, show the show the saucer. So the tea that I'm drinking is Taylor's spiced Christmas tea. Now the reason why
hold
This
on.
is so,
It's what the month is to know.
I know, right? So I'll tell you why. So this is so cute. Okay, so I was set up at the Longwood Market this past Saturday morning,
Yes, yes.
and yeah, and I posted. Also, this was the best one yet. Like my sales and everything. Like
Oh,
it really
good,
seemed like yeah, and it was a lot of tea and Scottish shortbread. People got both. So
good.
but I posted, once I was set up there, like I usually do, and around like 11 o'clock or something, a couple comes by, and I'm talking to them, and she's like, "Oh, I just love everything like England and this." And I was like, "Well, oh my gosh!" Like, so do I. She goes, "I know." She goes, "I saw that you were gonna be here on social media," and she goes, "So I brought you something." And she had a cute little like polka dot bag. She said, "These are just some of my favorite teas from home, like that she has." So she gave me like English. It was all Taylors of Harrogate, which are good,
I do,
good brands.
absolutely.
But it's Christmas. She gave me Christmas tea and their English breakfast, and I was like, "That is so nice." And I go, "I'm sorry." I go, "Met?" She goes, "No, I just saw you on social media."
Amy has a fan. Amy has a fan. Yay.
I have to say, and now we're friends on Facebook, and I invited her to the tea time group. I told her we do tea time on Fridays. So I'll do a shout out. Hi, Penny. Isn't that the cutest name?
It is. I love
But
it. Love it.
but I told her, I was like, I'm like getting chills, like how nice and thoughtful that is. Like you brought me something
Brought
because
you
you
some
saw me
fan.
at the market. Yeah.
That's
And I
fantastic.
was like, yeah, and I was like, oh sweet, like my organic social media posting, as in I don't pay to boost my post, is working. So yeah, so that's why I'm drinking the Christmas tea.
Oh, I love
And
it.
I do Christmas any
Great.
time of year. But
Yes, yes, I do know you for that. Yes, absolutely. Yes, that's great. So
yeah,
what,
so
so the Christmas tea, so I just want to get back to
yeah,
this because you and I have fallen
yeah.
away
Oh
from
yeah,
we,
yeah, from our official tea book. Yeah.
yes,
Hmm.
so you and I used to actually really discuss the
You're right.
flavor
The
profile
tea.
of a tea and things like that, and we haven't done that in
Right.
quite some time. I would list my tea as somewhere in the candy section.
Oh, that's funny.
Because it has white chocolate. So those who are not familiar, just gonna pop this in here. There
Yeah.
is an actual flavor wheel. And Amy and I tend to fall somewhere between fruit and flour, fruity flowery, sometimes nutty.
That's
Um,
preference. Yeah.
exactly. So mine having strawberries, that would cover I would be within the berry region, but also the sweet, the chocolatey. I have that in
Is
there.
there like, yeah, is there on the wheel, is there like, where's kind of like the cinnamon spicy part of the wheel? Because
Absolutely. Yes. And
this one is like, I'll say this is a calm spiced Christmas tea. It's not like a Christmas punch in the face, which like,
okay, that makes
so
sense.
that it's a very mild Christmas tea, and they describe it as warming and citrusy. So I'm guessing the citrus that they add to it must be part of that's making it not like just all spices in your face, right? Like I like spices, so I don't have a problem either way. But as
Well,
far as if you think some Christmas teas are too strong or too, uh, just in your face, this is I'd say a good like modest cup of Christmas tea.
okay. Okay. And
Yeah,
that's fair. And I'm wondering sometimes the clove in the spices in a Christmas tea
yeah,
can have that really strong punch, or the cinnamon can actually be biting. It can
yeah.
be
That's what.
stinging.
So they don't actually say, or at least on their little packages, what is in it.
Okay.
Because I feel like, I mean, obviously it is, it's a black tea. There is, I guess, a little bit of citrus in it, but I'm trying to figure out what the Christmassy thing is in it. It might just be cinnamon because I feel like it's not as potent as like cloves are.
Okay. I do understand. And citrus, my guess is going to
Mhm.
be orange. When you make, say,
Yeah.
for example, Christmas wassail, or if you get, um, oh, it's
Okay.
escaping me now,
Those
the
like,
Christmas wine.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, and it's typically clove, cinnamon, orange, could be cranberry. things
Right.
like that. I'm looking under the spice and it says, cinnamon, nutmeg, clove. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
maybe there's nutmeg because nutmeg's not as uh like abrasive, right? Like it's not as strong
not as
as,
much as
as
clove, but
clove.
it can
It
take on,
can.
yes.
Okay.
It depends on if, so I don't know if, I grew up with nutmeg in eggnog. So my mom would always put
Oh, okay.
a pinch
Oh,
of it,
yeah.
a pinch of it on top of the eggnog. But it's also used in Italian dishes too. Sometimes you put a pinch into, say, maybe a bechamel sauce before you make a cream sauce, or
Okay.
sometimes in things like that. So yeah, so
Okay.
you could probably look up that Taylor's of
Yeah,
Harrogate
yeah.
was
Oh,
blended.
sure. And see what's in it. Yeah, yeah. But
But
so yes,
anyway,
that was
that's
good. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no surprise, we're not drinking anything that tastes like dirt. Nothing earthy.
no, no. And I'm just gonna say there was this really great. So I told you I followed the wine guy, Joe
Mhm.
Fattorini, and he had this great article on his Substack. Unfortunately, you have to pay to be able to comment, and
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not doing that. But does it taste good? And it was
Right.
basically talking about, that yeah, we can talk about, these expensive wines. We can talk about that
Mhm.
they're supposed to be good, but there's a difference between having I'm trying to be, that you can say that it's supposed to be good because it's an expensive bottle and it comes from a certain region,
Sure.
but are you enjoying it? Does it really taste
Right.
good? And then there's a difference between what's supposed to be good and what you're supposed to know is good, and having actual taste. You yourself
Yeah.
taste test, and you
Oh, okay. Yeah,
have
yeah,
that
yeah.
relation and stuff like that. It's just, and you don't have, sometimes people just have a real knack for knowing what's good without
Right.
being having the education or the experience to back it
I
up.
see.
And he
Right, right.
actually made this correlation between, I don't know if you've ever heard, I've never heard their music, but I've heard of them before. Butthole
Mm-mm.
Surfers. I can't believe I'm bringing this up during tea time.
Who is
But
it?
the Butthole
The
Surfer.
bottle. I haven't heard that name in forever.
And forever, right? Right. So he was talking about how he's reading a book, drinking a certain glass of wine, and listening to
Oh my
Buttholes.
gosh.
And he
That's
said
so
when
funny.
he died that he'd watched this interview, the guy who was drummer, producer, singer, something that had to do with the band. He was interviewed and they're like, I guess he's producer. And they said, well, how many instruments do you play? He goes, not a one. Said, well, what about music? He goes, I don't know a thing about music. He says, I just know what's good when I hear it. And it was funny because I was like, well, that's, I know you and
Yeah.
I branch out into some of these marine vegetal fire barnyard
Sorry. I'm just
mushroom
laughing at Marie.
the barn,
Yeah.
and some of the things on this wheel. I mean, you and I have sampled a lot of fruity and a lot of flavorful teas that
Yeah,
are
yeah.
easy to get out there, Amazon in the market. But it's
Right.
not like you and I are, trudging to Chinese and Taiwanese markets trying to find,
Right, right.
particular teas. But we also we know what's good tea.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's like we also, yeah, we know what we like, and we have been over the years, we have ventured out into, trying some ones that we weren't so sure about, and yeah, we were right, we didn't like them.
Yeah, and
But
we didn't
we
like them.
tried
Yes. Well, and we've educated ourselves too, and that you can have, as you and I have done the water tasting, that where we
them.
had
Oh yes,
three different waters,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
one kind of tea to figure out, well, what does it really make a difference? And it absolutely does. And
Right,
so,
right, right,
things like that, and a well brewed cup with the right
right,
ingredients. You only have two ingredients, make it good water, make it good tea, and make sure that you're using the right temperature and the right
right.
balance between tea and water and things like that. So anyway,
Exactly.
that's just to say that you and I haven't talked about actual tea properties lately,
I
and
love it.
just to throw in some of the expertise,
I love you bringing it back. That's great.
yeah, based on experience, just
Mhm.
and our fervor for the product.
Yes,
So
yes.
anyway,
That's
that
lovely. I
said,
love it.
we also, I don't consider myself an expert. What do we say? Royal commenter, right? Royal commentator. Is that what we say? So we can move.
Yeah, we're royal speculators.
Yes, there you go. I like that one. I like that one.
Yeah. So okay, so for the royals, okay, before we get into your rewatching of the
Yes,
documentary,
yes.
okay, I know we have some things. I wanted to tell you first, a couple of things that I brought up on Tea Time on Friday to see if you have
Yes.
heard about it. Did you hear about that there's going to be a new documentary for William coming out? It's,
No.
yeah, so, but what's great is it's actually about his work. So it's about like ending homelessness. And it is, but it's like William's documentary or whatever about it. And what I was saying to Trevor is like, that'll be nice. Like, I feel like uh, all we ever get is shows about them, especially or lately, just feeling like with Harry and Meghan and whatever. And so I was like, fine, like this is what they're there for, right? Is like basically giving a voice to like different, charities and groups and stuff.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so I'm like, great, he's doing something, like doing something with his name. Cough, cough, Meghan and Harry doing
Do you,
something.
do you think this is something that would have happened if, even if the Netflix and The Spare had not come out, that whole thing? Do you think this is something that the very modern Prince and Princess of Wales possibly would have aspired to do anyway?
I
Or do
think
you
yes.
think there is
I
an
feel like
element, do you think there might be an element of, we're gonna come out with our own thing, and you know what,
right.
we're not gonna bitch and whine. We're not gonna
Yeah, yeah,
gripe
yeah.
about our circumstances. We're gonna show what we're doing. And by the
Right,
way,
right,
we're not a racist family. I
right, right.
promise you, and I bet you and I are gonna go back and we're gonna watch this and we're gonna
I
tear
love it.
it. We're gonna pick
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
we're gonna talk about it. I'm wondering how many tiny little snippets might be in there as a very discreet but purposeful
Like right.
correction, if you
Yeah, yeah,
will.
yeah.
So anyway, so
So
you're saying, I
I
have
love
not
that.
heard about this. I've not heard
So
about this.
yeah, so I heard about it on the Royal Obsessed podcast and then looked it up. So I think it's coming out in the fall is when to expect it. And uh so to that point, I would say I bet producers and like those people who make like these offers or these arrangements, I bet they were more likely to do something like this because of Harry and Meghan. I feel like William and Kate would have wanted to do something like this anyway, so maybe this just made it easier for them. Also, if there's any thing in it that feels like little pokes at Harry and Meghan, I bet that's editors and producers as well. Like, I'm
Mhm.
gonna
Sure.
I'm gonna sort of clear William and Catherine of that ahead of time. I think it's like reality shows and stuff too, right? It's just like there's
Right,
so much that
right.
goes into editing. And
Oh,
like, so that's
absolutely.
something for, the documentary too, is like the producers and editing, right?
Yeah,
So, um,
yes.
yeah,
Because
so
it makes
I
it
think,
a great product. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I think that could be a thing. Um, and the only other thing was that they mentioned that that Megan's doing some cooking show. It's not out yet. And Trevor and I talked about a while ago Megan's brand that is launching. I started following it on Instagram. I'll have
Yes,
to go
I
look
did
what it
too.
was.
American Orchard, American
Or
Riviera,
yeah,
American
that sounds right.
Orchard, American Orchard Riviera. So
That sounds
and
right.
listen,
Yeah,
hang
no,
in,
I'm just like I'm like all I remember is orchard. I'm like it's orchard something.
keep talking. I'll look it up.
Yeah, yeah. But so but what's funny is that even like let's see. Oh, that's funny. Sorry, Trevor's commenting on our video.
Are you giving
And
me a thumbs up, Trevor? Where's my thumbs up? I want to
yeah,
get my
I
thumbs
know,
up.
right? He said, uh, yes, there have been several documentaries by Prince Charles, etc. Okay, by Prince Charles. So I'm guessing he means his charities, maybe. Trevor, who's still watching, chime in. But also, he laughed. I believe when you were talking about the butthole surfers, he typed buttonholes. Okay, so I was gonna look at Instagram at her thing, but so the Royally Obsessed podcast ladies who are I'll say they're like me, how I'm like pro Harry and Meghan while being pro the other side, right? But I feel like they even said like something about like, well, when are we like sort of like we've been waiting for this American Riviera thing to come out forever, like, and then now there's a cooking show that's gonna come out at some point. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's sort of like we're just all waiting. Like, you keep saying you're gonna do something, and
Yes, and nothing's really
yeah,
happening. Yeah, I
right,
hear you.
right. So
So
it's like, is this gonna be another thing where you tell us you're coming out with something and then it falls to the wayside? Like, I can't, I forgot now what it is, but I feel like there have been things over the last few
oh
years
yes, there
where
have
like
been, absolutely,
they're
yes. There
gonna
was
be
supposed to
doing
be
things and then they don't. Yeah. Well, I
absolutely
guess I mean like what Netflix and Spotify, right? Like that was the whole thing because
Spotify thing,
they
yes.
didn't create podcasts like they were supposed to.
And wondering what was the hiccup in the holdup too? I mean, was that something coming
Right.
down from the palace saying, no, you can't, so that, they're putting it in the wayside and not broadcasting what the reasons are. I wonder
Hmm.
in this documentary, Prince William, how much family life, candid things you
Oh
might
yeah.
see
Right.
because he's not allowed to do that. You cannot,
Right.
really promote family or self or anything like that. But wondering how much of the fun family life, family man, husband kind of thing
Right.
that you might actually get to see little glimpses in
Right.
this. I'm curious, because to me, in a way, that would also be like, hey, this is we're doing as much as we can, like that one,
Right. Right.
so doing it to show you what, and also because I think you and I both know that the monarchy in a little bit of a way is a bit of an, it's kind of, it's being threatened and it's
Right.
in some trouble in some ways. So instead of just, this is a headline, this is a full documentary. You can watch this. So
Right.
I
Right.
think it's great. And I'll be
Yeah.
glued to it. God knows I'll be glued to it. I'll be
Yeah. Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Right. I know. So okay. So then you rewatched um the Meghan and Harry
I did.
documentary, right?
I did
Okay.
because you sent me a clip.
Yes.
And I don't know if you
Okay.
can,
I was gonna see if I
and
can pull up the clip.
while you're looking for that, I just want to say too that bravo, we saw Kate at Wimbledon today, this week, and she was wearing the most stunning shade of lilac. Beautiful. She
I
looks
saw you
well, for
posted.
somebody
Yeah.
going through chemotherapy. And we don't know what kind of chemotherapy. She does not look ultra thin. I mean, she's always thin, but she doesn't look
Right.
gaunt. She looks
Right.
healthy. She looks like she's doing well. And bravo. Glad to see her out there.
Yes.
Cute picture of her when she received a standing ovation, and somebody snapped a picture of Charlotte looking very admirably at her mother. And
Yes.
I want to say it was the very next day, if not the same day, the pictures of William and George together at the Euro Cup.
Oh
Uh,
yes. That hug
darling.
was so cute.
Yeah, the hug was very darling and just very, very cute. Again, some very real moments that we're seeing that are coming out that would not have been, seen in the last reign.
Right.
Little more family. We're so much like you people out there, as
Right.
I put on
Right.
my diamond shoes and, tie my necktie, but no.
Right. Well, that's yeah. It's like I feel like that it will be interesting how they do the documentary because it's easy to just be like they're talking about homelessness when like here they live in palaces and blah 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 blah, right? And it's like so I have a feeling like they're gonna have to get into sort of who he is as a person, family, royal. I feel like they'll have to touch on all that stuff, and then how like because that we'll say they have these privileges, they're able to end up bringing more spotlight and fundraising and things to these services than if they were just like, an
Yeah,
average person like the rest of us.
very true.
So,
And one of the
uh,
fundraising things that you and I sent you a thing that they've now opened up more rooms in Buckingham
yeah,
Palace to be toured,
right.
to be
Which I
viewed.
love.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
sure.
I think it's great. Well, I think it's great. Money wise, it's obviously great for us, like the tourists, but it's also like, uh, you know, it's like opening up their homes so it's cool because you can go to whatever historic palaces and things where
Yes.
nobody lives it, right? You can do
Mhm.
that, but it's cool to be able to go to one where it's like this is still used.
Yes,
Like they're
precisely.
using this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yes.
that's what makes it unique. So I found the thing, the little clip. So let me see if I can share it. I forget, do I need uh sound for it? Is there sound in it? Yeah,
Yeah.
there is sound in it. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so let me see if I press the little sound thing, if you can hear it or not. Do you hear it?
I do not.
Okay, then that means I need to share my sound somehow.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Now it's like showing a bunch of things.
Yeah, showing how Kate
Okay,
curtsies and yes,
let's
yeah.
see. So, okay, so we can keep talking while I figure out how to use the same audio. I know I've heard other people do it before. Trevor, if you're there, tell me where to.
And if not, we can kind of fill in. I don't think it has quite the same punch, but we can fill
Right,
in basically what she was
right,
saying.
right. Because basically, yeah. I was like, because basically what she's saying is, and how do we start over on a video? I don't even know how to do it. But yeah, she's like kind of laughing, like, Your Majesty, right? Like,
Well, this was the
and then,
moment that they were around the Windsor area, and Harry says, my granny's in residence.
right,
Would you, let's go meet her. And she was like, what do I know? She says something like, what do I know as an American? We're picturing, I'm told I have to curtsy to her, and I'm thinking,
right,
all I'm picturing is this medieval times, and this is how we do things. And then the editing, and she comes up and she's laughing, and she's like, um,
right,
Your Majesty, and the editing does a quick close up on Harry as if he's like embarrassed by it. And so, was she mocking? Do you
right.
do you think she was mocking? And I'm curious. I mean, you and I've kind of gone back and
So,
forth texts.
okay, so Trevor just told me how to do it, how to share
Okay.
sound. Thank you,
Okay.
Trevor. So, okay, so let's see.
Okay.
Kate might
Well,
start the
play.
show. Okay, so here's.
Pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty.
Okay,
So
so that's why. Yeah. So you could hear it that time, right?
yeah, oh, absolutely. So
Okay, great.
is she mocking? Is it somebody very specifically taking very specific seconds that are cut off?
That was very specific. Yeah. Clip
Yes,
of
yes,
her
yes.
from just a documentary.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. And so I don't know if what she was saying was, so I went back and watched it, and what she was saying, that she was told that she had to curtsy, and she says, what do I know as American, that this is still done in
Right.
British households, or to the Queen, and that I have to bend down, and this is, we think, medieval times, I have to go down and
Yeah.
pleasure to meet you, and that is what we think as Americans, who you and I
That's
don't, because
true.
when
Yeah,
I
that's a
watch it,
good point.
but
Yeah, you don't
yes.
bow like that. Yeah.
If you watch enough television shows going back however many years, and if you watch
Yeah.
cartoons and you think that that's what it is, it's not the quick
Yeah.
curtsy, bent down on, the quick bend
Yeah.
of the knee, like Kate does and others do.
Yes.
And
Yep.
she's thinking this is what has to be done. And because I was like, I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. And I don't think it was that she was mocking. I really don't. I think she was thinking, this is what I'm going to have to do. And I'm also meeting his grandmother for the first time. I'm meeting
Right.
family, and this is, what am I supposed to do? And it was very awkward. So I've never been, as you know, I'm more camp
Yeah.
Bill and Kate. But I watched that documentary again, and looking at the way things are, the way social media is, the way people in the news, and we've kind of talked about this in the past, the way people slant things, edit things to make them look specific ways. And now with the threat of IA, that you can make people say and look certain ways. I really watched this and I was like, this was just an American girl. Yes, she was an actress. And I think her biggest fault was that she was American and she was half Black. And those are no things, she shouldn't be
Right.
faulted for that. And the love between them is so genuine. It really,
Yeah.
I
I
just,
feel like it's
I
so
think,
apparent. You can like
yes,
feel it.
yes, yeah. I watched it before with like this, I think,
Yeah.
and this time I was watching, I was like, okay, let's do this again and give it a really good effort. And, yeah, did he really have to throw the royal family under the bus? Would we like to see it all reconciled? Absolutely. But there has been a lot of false, negative, hateful stuff out there intentionally. And I think some people got what they want. They pushed her out. And I don't think, and also looking at it too, that she was gaining popularity because she looked like a lot of people out there. She wasn't just white. She
Right.
looked like the majority of the people in the Commonwealth. And
Right.
their tour was so popular, and there's no way these two could be more popular than Harry and Kate. The way the institution functions, there is
Right.
no
Right.
way the two of them could come out on top.
We're allowed
And
to
that
be,
is
yeah.
where this was heading.
Right. Right.
So
Sorry, if you'll hold on one moment.
Absolutely,
Piper's
you gotta
calling
do.
to me.
Absolutely. Doesn't matter what you're
You've
doing,
been playing-
when you're mom,
Well,
gotta be mom.
I see you've been playing a little bit. You can play a little bit more. We're gonna take a.
In the meantime, I'll pour some more tea.
Yeah. When you take a. Just take a break for a little bit. So I'm done.
While Amy is
We're
being
gonna play.
mom, I'm still going to attest, and I have said this before, that I know you're doing mom, you do your mom thing, you do
Yeah.
mom. I'm still
No,
gonna,
it's okay. Yeah.
you know, radio silence. That I am still not particularly in agreement with some of her politics or the way. I think sometimes I wish they'd keep their opinions to themselves, but I also say too, if you really are of the spirit of charity, and yeah, I guess I'd have to apply this to the royal family too, to Harry, or excuse me, to Will and Kate too, and everybody else. If you really are in the spirit of charity, and that is what your goal is to truly help, then it's hard to go around saying that everybody needs to be more helpful when you're wearing a $6,000 blouse and, and $800 shoes. So how can you be telling everybody else that they're supposed to be charitable when your wardrobe costs more than most people's houses? I don't know if Amy heard that last part or not.
Right. Sorry, I heard something about wardrobe and houses.
It's just what I've said before, and I've said it about Megan, and I would have to, in all fairness, I'd have to apply it to Harry, I keep doing that.
William and Kate.
To William and Kate too, and anybody in the royal family. How can you sit there and talk about we've really got to be more charitable? We need to do this and stuff like that.
Right.
When your wardrobe costs more than most people's cars or what they can afford in their mortgage. So
Right.
those are the things that if I'm still going to criticize, those are the things that point
Yeah,
finger back at them. I really have to say that I've really kind of turned over.
Yeah.
And I think I have a couple of followers on Facebook. I don't know if they watch this or not. There's one in particular I'm thinking when she hears this, she's probably going to cut me off, and that's fine. But yeah, I don't dislike as much as I used to. I really don't.
Right.
So.
Well, that's interesting, and just it's funny, like that. You would that obviously you'd go in watching it the first time, like, all right, what are these guys gonna say?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, give it some time, and like now you're coming back to it.
Yes.
You can hear it from a different way. So it's great. But I would say about the wardrobes and whatnot, one thing that royally obsessed ladies do well is they will comment when outfits or dresses or coats or whatever have been reworn. So they're pointing out because the royals are making an effort to rewear things, even to another event, right? So
Absolutely.
like they'll point out like 2 years ago she wore it to this, or whatever, and like point. Yeah. So I like that because honestly, it makes them more normal too, right? Like, why should you have to like never wear the same thing?
Yes.
Like never be seen in the same clothes again.
Absolutely. No, that's funny because about 2 weeks ago I saw something like that, and I don't know if it was Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, something, that somebody showed that, like, hey, look, she's worn this 3 times. Kate in particular has worn this, and now those dresses are still 5,000 pounds, but
sure.
Again, so
right, yeah.
I think if I had to cost 5,000 pounds, I'd be wearing it too.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that they do pay for I'll just say a lot of their clothing, but I'm also sure that plenty of designers or people try to push their stuff on them to wear for free because
Yes,
then all of a sudden they're selling out on their online store because everybody wants to get the
yes.
same thing.
Can they
So there's
accept
that
those
too.
things as gifts though? Because
Great question. Yeah, I
yeah,
don't know. That's
because Queen
true.
Elizabeth, when she was getting married and things were still
Yeah.
being fashioned because of
Yep.
World War II and
I
everything.
remember she used her little fabric coupons, right?
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
And other people gifted them to her.
Oh,
She
right.
came around the country,
Yeah,
gifted
yeah.
their fabric thing to her, and she was not allowed to accept them.
Oh, I didn't really. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah. I believe that's what I read. I believe that's what I read.
Okay. I guess
So,
that would make sense that they would sort of hold that position too and just be, we appreciate it, but please let us pay you for your work, right? Like,
mhm.
we're not here to get freebie, free stuff, like,
Yes.
like the average celebrity, benefits from, because
Yeah.
they're not your average celebrity. They're a different brand
Yes,
of
exactly.
celebrity.
Exactly. But I do believe that line's been crossed already and cannot go back. I do think that they are, they are celebrity, but,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
more. But,
yes,
when they had tried to separate that and said, no, we're not celebrity. We're not, well, but you are now because of
yeah.
social
It's like
media.
that's
Yeah.
what they say. It's like with the keeping up with the times, they've had to sort of fold in a little bit more
Yes,
to,
absolutely.
to
But I
regular
love to see what
celebrity.
they're doing. I think that, there's a couple, I think you're following them as well. There's a new, there's the royal family. I mean, look, it's the first thing that pops up in here. It's the royal
Oh,
family
right.
on
I love
Instagram.
it.
And then there's the Prince and Princess of Wales and
Right,
just all these different things. Oh, by the
right.
way,
And I think like Clarence House has its own thing. Because who's Clarence House now? Is that for William and Kate, or is Clarence House still part
oh,
of Charles?
Clarence House was Charles. I thought that was
Okay,
the state.
I thought so. I wasn't sure because if they like changed the names of houses. Let's see.
Oh, I don't know. While you're looking at that, I just want to say my
Yeah.
second feed is Paula. Hi, Paula.
Oh,
Paula
yeah. Hi,
has
Paula.
moved into my backyard, into
Yes.
Washington, D.C. area. She is standing on the stairs used in The Exorcist. If you have seen the movie, I have been there too. I got a picture of myself.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is in Georgetown, outside of DC. So hello, Paula.
That's
Stay with
awesome.
your spirits.
So
So
here's an interesting update on Clarence House.
yes.
So they have 1.6 million followers, but it says, and it's a blue check mark, so it's legit, but it says this account is no longer being updated. Please follow at the royal family for updates on His Majesty King Charles III and Her Majesty the Queen Consort. So they switched.
That's what I thought that I had read that something like
That's
it was.
interesting. I didn't realize that they like switched over. So I clicked on the royal family. So the royal family one has 13.4 million followers now. So definitely an increase. But yes, so latest news updates on the work of the king, the queen, and the royal family. Gotcha.
Gotcha. So
So
I
yeah, so it's
made
not
notes
just
of,
those two.
so there were a couple of other things I was going to throw in at you too that we talked about. There was a headline recently about Eugenie and Beatrice are now distancing themselves from Harry.
Oh yes, yes, and yes, because we were texting about it because my take on it was that it's not necessarily anything personal, but like between the cousins. But I would uh, guess that because the royal family is sort of wanting Beatrice and Eugenie to step in a little bit more and do more royal duties and bring more youth to the royal family. I'm guessing they probably have to sort of distance themselves from Harry in order to be able to basically get the job, right? Like,
I
or
wonder.
keep the
I
job.
mean, we may not know that. It could just be nasty headlines again that they were not
Yeah,
available.
it could be like just a coincidence. Like they've been busy, they haven't been able to get to the same, things together.
Absolutely.
But
So
but even if it is, I guess I would say since we're royal speculators, I would say that I would speculate that even if it's not a thing, I feel like it's a good point that if they are going to be more involved actively in the royal family duties, they're going to have to at least not have a lot of contact with Harry and Meghan. Uh, even if they feel like they can trust him, the firm can't.
Correct,
So,
correct.
it's like they can't tell him a whole bunch of stuff of what's going on in the family because you don't know if Harry's going to go out and talk about it.
Exactly, exactly. And then let's see what else. Charles
Oh,
has
yes, his
$6.6
purchase.
million apartment on Millionaires Row in New York, and
Yes,
nobody knows why.
right.
What
Let
do
me
you?
see if I can pull up an article and I'll pull up the
Sure.
picture of it. Charles, let's see.
I have that here too.
New luxury apartment.
Here I am.
Okay. Let's see. Are you looking at it? What
It
is
was in
that?
the,
Market.com.
it's in the New York Post. The New York Post, King
Okay.
Charles buys Lux NYC condo for 6.63 mil on Billionaires Row. And in two articles that I read, both of them are saying we don't know why. It's listed on the deed as His Majesty the King in Right of Canada, represented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs. The buyer snapped up unit 11A, a 3-bedroom, 4.5-bath pad on the 11th floor for 6.63 mil. It's beautiful. It's
Right.
Beautiful.
It is. That's what it's saying here. I'll share. I pulled up. So I've got the pictures. Let's see. I'll share my screen. Okay. So yes. So here's Charles. So yeah, there's the building. This tall. It looks skinny from here.
It's rather skinny. I couldn't get up there.
Yeah.
That would scare me to death. Go ahead.
Yeah. I forget. Did they say what floor he's on? Or are they allowed to say that?
Yeah, no, 11A.
Oh, 11A. Oh, gotcha. Unit 11A. So yeah, so here's a lounge inside on Billionaires Row. There's two-lane pool. Yeah, special entry for cars. Yes, it looks nice. I want to see a better picture of this building. What's the building called? Yeah,
Looking for it.
I know. Let's see.
Um,
So I'll stop.
3,601 square foot apartment. Where is that extra 1 square foot? That's what I want to know.
Where's the extra?
Where is that 1 square foot? It's like you got this 1
Right.
square foot in the pantry or something like that.
Right,
There's a
right.
little nook right in there. I have no idea.
Right. So my take on the purchase, I have a few speculations. So I think one, I guess, sure, if that's like a place for them to like set up when they are visiting abroad,
Sure.
maybe.
Why not?
But also, they do have their own private money. So it's not like this isn't taxpayer dollars, right? This is his own money. So I'm like, it also could be like investment property kind of thing, right? Like, why not invest?
Right. Right. For royal family visits for friends of the family, you may go stay, blah, blah, blah. I mean, yeah. So
yeah.
What other?
I'm not, so I'm not I guess against it. It's sort of like, well, if he has the money, like he's, it's just kind of like a businessy thing to do. Is my take on it.
Some people are speculating this is a place so that he can get closer to Harry and Meghan, which I find interesting because it's like,
yeah,
in New York.
It's like we'll get closer by going on the other coast.
Yes, exactly. Then you can come and see us. All these reports about how Charles is wishing that he could see his other 2 grandchildren. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. And then I had another one. We were talking about how there's a headline recently. Sarah Ferguson was supposed to, those who know, Sarah Ferguson she's a fiction writer for children's books. And so this came across my feed today, and find it once again. Sarah Ferguson postpones Australia visit after Buckingham Palace's announcement. And I'm like, what announcement? What?
Right.
So I guess she was going to go to a writing festival in Western Australia, and she has canceled it because King Charles III and Queen Camilla's impending tour is going to be around the same time. So she was going to I'm trying to reason. Yeah, with regret, Duchess Sarah, Duchess of York, has decided to withdraw from the Festival of Fiction so as not to distract or detract in any way from the tour of Australia by His Majesty the King, which has recently been announced. So I guess they'll be going to Australia. So great. I'm sure Australia thrilled. I hope they are. Yeah. So I'm trying to think what else.
I think, yeah, I was like, because she's technically not a working royal anymore, right? Because she's divorced from the family.
Oh, she's not. No, she's
Yeah,
there's
okay.
royal family, there's fringe, and then there's outer fringe, and she's probably
Right.
part of
Right.
fringe.
Now she is living
Considering
in the yeah, like she was living in the Royal Lodge with Andrew. Which I was going back through some of my old writings, like for my newsletters and stuff the other day, and
Okay.
I found one that I had totally forgotten about, and it was basically just a little blurb about how old Elizabeth was when she owned her first property, and it was she was age 6 when the Royal Lodge was like, deeded to her or whatever it is, right? But I was like, oh, that's funny. I was like, at the time, Royal Lodge meant nothing to me, but
Right.
that's where Andrew won't leave, and he can't afford to keep it up right now. So it's in the news again.
So will she stay, but he's kicked out? I mean, these two are very good friends. They've
I mean, she can't afford to keep it up either, so I feel like they both need to move over to Frogmore
right,
Cottage,
right,
right?
exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
they gotta go, or yeah.
so I'm just looking up Royal News UK, Royal News Today UK. 4 hours ago, embarrassing King's speech incident seconds before, and then it's I have no idea. For the open, an embarrassing incident seconds before it was captured on camera. Oh no, what do you do?
Oh, I know. Sorry, I was looking at the list. We didn't talk about the Pat Tillman Award yet. Trevor and I talked about it,
Okay, go ahead.
but yeah. So the Pat Tillman Award is an award that's connected with ESPN, right? So they call it like ESPYs or
Right.
whatever. Translated for people like me, it's sports. Sports.
Yeah.
So, but specifically, so Pat Tillman, and I learned this from the Royally Obsessed podcast, ladies. So the Pat Tillman Award. Pat Tillman was an athlete, I believe football, again, sports. And after 9/11, he left his professional career to go fight, and was killed in action. So they set up this this like award, this foundation, and Prince Harry was it was announced that he was selected to receive the award,
Right.
and it is not specifically for him as an individual, like having fought or being a veteran, right?
Right.
This is my like caveat thing.
Yep.
He is the leader of, like, he has founded the Invictus Games,
James.
which is a huge thing for veterans and it's disabled veterans. And so it was sort of like for his contribution to veterans and
Absolutely.
that community.
Absolutely.
Now, unfortunately, so then Pat Tillman's mother commented that she was shocked that they would pick such a controversial and divisive person to receive this award when there are so many others more fitting. And so everyone took that and ran with it. I mean, understandably. I mean, you can't just sit there and let that lie. But
Sure.
but I think with understanding it, like, from her side, it's also like, I was talking to Trevor. I was like, well, it probably kind of sucks because, like, here you have this award thing that's like in honor of your son, but you have no control over who gets selected, right? So, like,
Yeah,
you don't get
that
to
was
have,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah. So I was like, so it's probably a bit of like, well, this is her only time that she gets to say anything, kind of, and I mean, she's right. They did pick a controversial and divisive person, and there probably were others that could have fit just as, in different ways, fit well. But I think also what the Royally Obsessed ladies pointed out was part of these things and these like awards ceremonies and stuff is to bring awareness to more people and spread the word. And it's like, did I know who Pat Tillman was until Prince Harry got this award? Nope. I mean, I'll say people outside of the world of ESPN. I'll even give them, I'll even give them the assumption that everyone who watches sports knows who that is and what happened. But for the rest of us out here,
Exactly. So if I think it was 2022. Let me see if I can find this. I know Pat Tillman because if you've ever gone out to Arizona or let me see, maybe it was 2021, and I'm trying to find what year it was. Yep, there it is. Out to go to Vegas. If you go out toward Vegas, and there is the Pat Tillman Bridge over the Grand Canyon. And I don't know why I have Vegas, but I don't have, oh, here we go, Arizona. And this is, I will show you in just a second because
that's okay. But so that's okay. So
that's the Pat Tillman Bridge.
Wow.
And it spans the Colorado River over yeah.
That's a nice bridge.
Yeah, it is. It's very, very nice. It's a better shot that does not have
So
man.
do they have like a sign? Like, did you know what that was before you were sightseeing?
Yes, and we actually did walk over the bridge. It was 1,000
wow.
day. I'm not going to fool you. It was
Yeah. Hot.
Yeah, we're complaining over here right now. My car read 101 yesterday.
Right.
So, but from the bridge, this is the view from the bridge. So you get to see the Hoover Dam.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
So before I was over here on the dam looking at the bridge. Here I'm on the bridge looking at the dam.
Oh,
cool. My poor daughter, take a look at that picture. She was melting.
Oh.
So it was like 114 degrees out there. It was wow.
Right.
That's another lovely shot there. So yes.
Oh my gosh.
So there was because he had a promising football career, and then after 9/11 happened, he said he just dropped everything. He says, I gotta go fight for my country. So but Harry's acceptance speech I thought it was fairly well done. The snippets that I was able to read about, and he said,
that's what I say, I haven't like watched the whole thing, but yeah, the snippets, it sounded like he did a good job of, acknowledging the mother, respectfully and everything, and sort of, just like sort of just forgetting about that there was all this hubbub about it, right? Like,
yes.
Forget all about that. It also said in the article that he, talked about this very special bond between mother and son, right?
Exactly.
And like likened it to like, him and his mother, Diana.
Yes. I was trying to find the quote directly, and I don't know if I can. He did say there are no, maybe that's from his mom. Yeah, she attacked as saying, these individuals do not have, these other individuals who are more worthy do not have the money, resources, connections, or privilege that Prince Harry has. I feel that those types of individuals should be recognized. And I really think Harry should be well advised to sit back and not accept an award like this, as somebody was saying. And I'm still looking for his particular. I'd like to begin by expressing my deepest gratitude to everyone at the Pat Tillman Foundation, led by Marie Tillman Shenton, his widow. I'm so honored, who I'm so honored is here tonight, Harry said on Thursday. I would also like to acknowledge the Tillman family, especially Mrs. Tillman, Pat's mother. Her advocacy for Pat's legacy is deeply personal and one that I respect. The bond between a mother and son is eternal and transcends even the greatest losses. The truth is, I stand here not as Prince Harry, Pat Tillman Award recipient, but rather a voice on behalf of the Invictus Games Foundation and the thousands of veterans and service personnel from over 20 nations who have made the Invictus Games a reality. This award belongs to them, not to me. And so from that perspective, I can understand, you know, if he truly is feeling that he needs to stay there and be the voice of those veterans, that's great. If this really was on any level, but I want that award.
Yeah,
And he should have stepped back.
yes.
So,
But also, I think it's silly to say he should step back because it's like he didn't ask for it, right? Like I don't think he was what do you say, campaigning, right? It's not like how people campaign for an Oscar or whatever,
right.
like, you know, different actors and actresses and stuff. I was like, they decided, right? And if his widow is on the board, like,
Yeah.
and Trevor and I were trying to look up past people who were recipients, and it looks like people of all kinds, but I don't know, just I'll just say first glance, and this is perhaps, you know, not a fully informed statement, but I'm guessing like that kind of award, I'm guessing they're not going to pick just like Joe off of the street or whatever, right?
Yeah,
they're
right.
picking figures that are already elevated for some reason, for some cause of what they're doing.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I don't think it's not like out of the blue they picked someone who was leading something big, right? And like had at least nonprofit dollars behind them, you know?
Yeah, if this was Joe Smith who had started the Invictus Games, they would have given it to him. This isn't Joe Smith, Harry, but he started the Invictus Games, and he's just been incredibly beneficial in highlighting to, you know, disabled veterans.
Right.
And so,
and aside from being like now husband and dad, I like, as far as like his identity, I feel like his identity is tied to being a veteran. So he shouldn't be not considered just because of who he happens to be, right? Like if he still did the work that is, you know, qualified him for this, then it shouldn't be taken away just because of, oh, well, you're Prince Harry or whatever.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Because he identifies so much as just one of the veterans, right?
Yeah. And so on a slightly snarky, but just trying to be real note, Mom is a big royal family fan, and she doesn't want Harry, you know, she's not on team Harry Meghan. And but the wife wants to meet a prince. So
oh, that's funny.
Just saying.
That's so funny. I love that. That's really funny. Well, it's funny when you say like on the snarky side, because my other snarky comment was like, oh, it's mother and daughter-in-law, like, not on the same page.
So, yeah. And there may be snarkiness going on there. We don't know.
Right.
So,
yeah, maybe. Yeah. So Trevor commented, I saw after the fact, back when we were talking about the the new apartment in New York.
Yes.
King Charles. So Trevor pointed out, he said it's cheaper and easier than renting out a hotel floor. He said it would also be more private, away from public eyes. And I don't know what we were talking about, but he said the Aussies have a huge following for the royal family.
Oh, because Charles and Camilla are going to Australia. Yes.
Done already. Okay. Thanks, Trevor. Way to remind me what we just talked about.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. In the Crown, they said that, you know, Trevor can correct me on this one too, is their prime minister, whoever it is that runs the country, was about ready to, you know, hand it to Charles and say, we don't want the royals running our lives anymore. But when Charles and Diana came, they were so enormously, mostly Diana, popular, that he knew he didn't have a leg to stand on. So hopefully I mean, they're British subjects. I mean, that's, you know, I would think there is, I've there's a huge following. Trevor's absolutely right. Thanks, Trevor.
Yeah, thank you, Trevor. When I said thanks, he said anytime.
Where's my thumbs up? I want a thumbs up. My little thumbs up hasn't popped up
I
here
know,
yet.
yeah, Trevor, she is, we don't remember how she made her thumbs up on the
Yeah,
screen.
thumbs up something. Do I just hold it here? Which is funny because I've never done that before anyway.
Right.
And doesn't that mean yours? But to do that. Real quick, and then we're gonna have to go.
Yeah, sure.
But last you and I were texting a couple weeks back, you were working on a proposal from
Yes,
sorority, and
for
I'm wondering,
sorority.
I've not heard
Yes,
from you.
I know. I haven't told you yet. So they do not have the budget for it, even at the price. So for any of you catching up, so I had a sorority reach out to me from UCF that was looking to have a tea party for a big event that they do at the beginning of the school year, and for like maybe 150 to 160 people. So I put this whole quote together, first with food, and then without food, just tea and tea sets only, and even tried to give them like a discounted rate for such a large group. But yeah, they're not able to do it. So, but she thanked me for my time, and I went ahead and asked. I said, "Oh, here's Piper." I went ahead and said, "How did you hear about me? I forgot to ever ask you that." And she said it was from someone she works with in the bridal industry, the wedding industry here in Orlando. And I know that person through different networking things. The Wedding Venue Map is a big company here that really helps. It's sort of like a wedding industry chamber of commerce.
Okay.
And yeah, so I was like, oh, well, that's lovely. Like it wasn't just like a random Google thing. It was like an in-person, referral. So that was nice. Um, and then we've got the etiquette class coming up on July 28th, Sunday. And
Good.
that's with yes, etiquette coach Christy. And then we're gonna have a tea there as well at Higgins' house in Sanford.
Would love
Hey,
to
everyone,
do
here's
it.
Piper.
I wish I could get down there and do that
I
event.
know,
That would just be the top.
right?
Yeah.
But so, huh? What? Oh, where? It's just me and Nancy today. She said, "Where's everybody else?" So this is. Hey, you want to hear? Say hi to
Honey,
Nancy.
I am everybody. No.
Yeah. She's here.
I am it all. I am
She
everything.
said she is everybody.
I am everybody.
She's being silly. This little one is bored. She's at the age where we're experiencing boredom.
Yeah,
Yay.
I know, summer boredom. So, as if I'm some marketing,
Yes,
some
what is
guru, but I think when you do not the etiquette tea, but things like, that, I would float a flyer or something to the sorority or the head of the sorority or whoever your contact
Oh,
is.
you're
Hey,
right.
I'm doing a tea. Would any of the,
Oh, right.
sisters of blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
shout out to my
Oh,
sorority.
duh. Thank
But
you.
would
Thanks,
they be
Nancy.
interested, because maybe the onesie twosies, I gave you my sorority experience, my college experience. I did not come from a lot of money. I was scraping pennies together to pay the dues. Now I was at a small university. This was not like going to University of Florida where the dues were hundreds of dollars every month kind of thing.
Right. And UCF is giant, so I think I've like driven by there, whatever, is it Greek Row or whatever, where like all the giant houses are.
Yeah. So if, just thought in case you guys might be interested, there may be the handful of girls who can afford your, whatever the price is. Yeah. So, just another way to put that out there and get more people interested, knowledgeable, because I would be willing to bet you could. I would also, Amy, I would highly, because haven't done this myself and I totally need to. But the alumni groups. Now, when I get onto my Tri Delta System page here in the DC area, I see pictures of them wearing hats and holding teacups and things like that. So I've done events like that before.
Right.
So I think those are key markets and interested peoples.
Right.
Something to think about, drop a line to find out it's the district Panhellenic. It's a Greek word. Think Helen of Troy.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, that's helpful.
Panhellenic, Panhellenic. ENIC, Panhellenic in your
Okay.
area, that you could get a hold of a contact that could hopefully maybe shoot out to the local
Right.
and the alumni groups, because the alumni groups don't necessarily have to be, you have, maybe at UCF, what, maybe 5-6 sororities, I don't know. But
Right.
then you have alumni groups from people who, have been in sororities all over the country, different brand, and this is their chapter, their group, their area of where they're able to meet, even though maybe no college in that area actually has a sorority. So those are another ways to advertise, and highly recommend that. I think you and I have talked about Girl Scout groups. So my contact, our suffragist museum, has come back. She said, I pitched something to her and she says, I love this, let's run with it. So I need to do some rewriting to focus on more of a younger group than adults coming to listen.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah, how things at the museum are going.
Yes.
Real quick, my Mumsy commented on Facebook, and Grandma says, "Hi, Piper." Oh, there's your name. Grandma says hi. Say, we'll see you tomorrow, Grandma.
Well, you probably have to pack and everything else. I wish you a wonderful safe trip.
She also wants the creepy Halloween background real quick. The haunted house or the spooky forest? This one?
Oh, I like that one. I've got to learn to do that. I've got to learn to do that. I've given it a thought. It'd be so great if I could sit, like lounging at a beach. I would really,
I love it. Yeah. Well, I said I have my, where's my resort? I have a resort too. We could pop out to the resort.
I'm gonna figure out how to do that. I don't know why mine doesn't do that, but anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, it's great. Thanks for squeezing me in. Have a safe trip.
This was lovely.
Enjoy time with, is it grandma, grandpa, Mima, what do we call
it's grandma, grandpa, Aunt Candy, Uncle Jeffy, cousins. Yeah. And then some extra great aunts and great uncles. Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, I know. Real quick. Hold on, Tina. Okay, we're about done. 1 second. Oh, okay. She wants me to put on the Halloween one. Okay. 1 second. Let me put on the Halloween one, and then I have one more thing to ask of you, Nancy. Oh wait, is it this one? Are you like?
Ooh, I like that
one.
I think I do. I don't know.
I know. She likes the super dark one. Where is the super dark one?
That doesn't look haunted. It just looks dirty.
Yeah, I know. It just looks like a band. Okay. So, if you could, just hold up your teacup where you can see it. And we're just going to smile quietly for a second, because I always take screen snips of us and I'm always trying to catch us without talking. Okay, so ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you. What, you want to do it again? Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. She wanted to hold up her sucker. Her lolly. What? Trying your nurse to do that. Oh, no, it's okay. We're done now. Okay. Well, thanks so much.
You poor child. I'm so sorry. Hey, listen, hit me up in August. See if there's, any dates or stuff like that. I know you're busy, but let's keep talking.
Yeah, probably the second. I'll just say the second half of August, because first half, I'm guessing. Are you guys up back to school on the 1st of August?
19th of August.
Okay, we're the second week of August, but like parent-teacher stuff starts the first week. So,
gotcha. Okay. Yeah. It gets to be a busy.
We'll figure out something.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Well, lovely. Well, thanks for watching, everyone.
Hold on. This is my frog face. Hold on a second. Ready?
You like that one?
You want to take that screenshot, Amy?
She didn't get to see it. Yeah, she didn't get to see it because she.
Ready?
Okay, ready? Peanut, open your eyes, you nut. Well, she'll see it on the rerun.
I can't do it anymore. It hurts my eyes.
It's good. Yeah, that's hilarious. Okay.
All right. Well, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Safe travels.
Thank you. All right. Cheery bye.
Bye. Cheery bye.